Hello, and welcome to your nightly dose of horror. My name is Mike, and tonight I have a story for you. It's fiction, sure, but by the time it's over, you won't care. So turn off the lights, lay back, and listen closely. If anything whispers your name while I'm talking, don't answer. And when the story ends, if you're still awake, drop a comment and tell me what kind of nightmare you want next. Like it? Hit subscribe. Need more? I've got more. There's a number in my phone I never added. Every time I call it, it tells me how I'll die. I don't usually post on Reddit, definitely not on r/no sleep, but something's been happening that I can't explain. It's been messing with my head, and I don't know if this is some kind of sick prank, an app glitch, or something worse. This started last Friday. I was home alone, just chilling on the couch after work, doom scrolling through TikTok like usual. I work remotely in data entry, which is exactly as boring as it sounds. I had nothing to do that night, so I ordered some wings from Uber Eats and was halfway through a video essay about cults when I got a notification. It was a missed call from a number I didn't recognize. But that wasn't what was weird. The number was already saved in my phone, name and everything, just sitting there in my contacts like I'd added it years ago. Name do not call. Number +1 701 701 0000. Photo completely black. No image, just a pitch dark square. Ringtone custom. It was set to something called whispers_1.wave. I've never set a custom ringtone in my life. I just stared at it for a while, thinking maybe I'd gotten drunk one night and messed around with my phone or something. I do have ADHD, and sometimes I hyperfixate on weird stuff at 2 a.m., but I checked the edit history, there was none, like the contact had just always been there. No creation date, no modification history. That's not even a thing iPhones usually track, but it felt off. Then I remembered this wasn't even my original phone. I'd switched phones 2 months ago, got a new one off Amazon, set it up using iCloud. Yeah, but I wiped my contacts and started fresh because I only wanted my most used numbers saved. Do not call, should not have transferred over. There was no way. So I did what every rational adult would do. I called it. It rang once. Just once. Then it picked up, but there was no sound. Not at first. No static. No dead air. Just total silence, like the call hadn't connected, but my timer was ticking up. I whispered hello, like an idiot. Nothing. Then the voice came in. It wasn't a normal voice. It sounded almost like mine, but flatter. Like me if I was trying to talk through a broken speaker, or like Siri if she got hit by a car. It said, "You will die in your sleep, alone, heart failure, 3 years, 7 months, and 11 days from now." Then the call dropped. Now obviously I freaked out. I thought it was a scam call or some AI thing. I googled the number, nothing. I tried calling it back, straight to voicemail. No message, just a long beep like it was waiting for me to say something. I hung up. I didn't sleep that night. Not because I thought I was going to die then or anything, but just the creepiness of it. The voice sounded so much like mine, not identical, but close enough to be unsettling. And the weirdest part? It knew the exact date, down to the day. 3 years, 7 months, 11 days. I marked it in my calendar. Morbid curiosity, I guess. The next morning, I posted about it on a small private Discord I'm in with some college friends. Just a lol guys, I'm cursed now type thing. One of them, Sarah, asked for a screenshot of the number. I sent it. 5 minutes later, she DM'd me. "Dude, I just called it. It said I'd drown in my bathtub. It gave me a date too, May 12th, 2041. Then our friend Daniel tried it. His message: motorcycle accident, wrong turn, 2033, F asterisk asterisk asterisk, Ingy creepy bro. None of us ride motorcycles. That night, Sarah called me. She was actually scared. I don't even have a bathtub, she said, trying to laugh it off. I live in a studio, just a standing shower, but I used to have one at my mom's place. We joked around a bit more, but I could tell she was shaken. I was too. Not because I believed it at that point, more like the uneasiness of something feeling supernatural, even if your brain is telling you it's not. I tried deleting the number from my phone. It wouldn't let me. No option to delete, block, or even edit it. I checked the contact info, and everything was grayed out, like it was part of the phone somehow. I even tried resetting my contact permissions. Nothing worked. Later that night, I got another call, same number. This time I didn't answer. I let it ring. It rang for a long time, like a full minute, which isn't normal. I watched it ring, feeling my chest tighten. Then it stopped. No voicemail this time, but when I checked my contacts after, there was a new entry. Name: already told you. Number 701-701-0000. Photo: it looked like a grainy still from a security cam, a figure standing in a hallway. Barely visible, but something about the posture made my skin crawl. I opened Instagram to distract myself and saw a new follower request. The username was just at 3y7m11d. That's when I started to actually get scared. So, I didn't plan to post another part this soon, but something seriously messed up happened last night. It's 3:17 a.m. as I'm writing this. I haven't slept. There's a light on in every single room of my apartment, and I've got a baseball bat on my lap, even though I know that won't help me. I don't think this is just a phone thing anymore. Let me explain. After that second call, I started spiraling a little. I'm not going to pretend I'm brave or rational. I'm not. I barely leave my apartment, as it is. I'm one of those people who orders everything online: groceries, deodorant, cat litter, even printer ink. Amazon Prime is practically my therapist. I tried telling myself it was just a hacker, or maybe some AI-powered TikTok ARG. You know the kind? Those creepy puzzle accounts with distorted voices and rabbit holes. That's what I wanted it to be. But it's not. I deleted all my social apps: TikTok, Insta, Threads, even Reddit. I switched to an old burner phone I used during college. No smart features, no apps, just calls and texts. I thought if I distanced myself, the weirdness would stop. It didn't. On Monday night, I was lying in bed, scrolling through Spotify on my laptop, when I saw something strange in the search bar. I hadn't typed anything yet, but a phrase was already filled in. You don't have long now. I legit froze. My hands weren't even near the keyboard. I closed the app, thinking maybe my laptop was bugged, or I got hacked. That's when my webcam light blinked on, just for a second, then off. I grabbed a piece of tape and slapped it over the camera. Classic paranoia move. But then my screen glitched, like actual static lines, analog-style distortion, like something out of a 2002 J-horror VHS tape. Then the display went completely black. No cursor, no menus, nothing. And then it lit back up, just a single image, my bedroom. But I wasn't in it. You ever see something so wrong, your brain just locks up, like it doesn't know how to process what you're seeing? That's what happened to me. On my screen was a grainy, low-res picture of my room taken from the corner, same angle where my tall mirror stands. The bed was in frame, the dresser, the floor, everything exactly as it was in real life, down to the position of my hoodie crumpled on the floor. But standing in front of the mirror was someone, or something. Its head was tilted so far to the side it looked broken, and its arms were too long, like disproportionately long. The hands were down to the knees, almost dragging. No facial features, but I knew it was looking at me. There was text overlaid at the bottom of the screen in a glitched font that shimmered like heat waves. You can't stop it. You're already dead. I slammed the laptop shut. No hesitation. I shoved it off the bed and it hit the floor hard. I could still hear the fan inside whirring, like it was still running, even with the lid closed. The next day, I tried to take a walk. Fresh air, whatever. I made it as far as the coffee shop at the end of my block, a tiny indie place, not a Starbucks. I've been going there for years. The barista, Nora, recognizes me and usually jokes about my unhealthy caffeine addiction. But today, she didn't smile. She froze when she saw me. I said, "Hey, can I get the usual?" She just looked at me, like really looked. "You're the guy," she said. Quiet, almost to herself. I laughed awkwardly. "What?" She shook her head slowly and went pale. "You were in my dream 2 nights ago. Now look, I don't believe in dreams meaning anything. I never have. But something about the way she said it, the way her eyes wouldn't meet mine, gave me chills I couldn't shake. I pressed her, and eventually she told me. She said she dreamt she was standing in a room full of mirrors, dozens of them, all different shapes and sizes, and in every single one she saw a version of me. But they weren't me, they were me, if I died differently each time. One had me floating in a bathtub, skin purple. One had me mangled in a car, face peeled off like a mask. One was just my teeth on the floor, nothing else. One of them looked like a burnt husk, sitting in a chair and smiling. Then she looked at me, and I swear her eyes were tearing up. "You looked at me from the mirror," she whispered, "and you said, 'I know when you die too.'" I left without the coffee. Later that night, I was doing everything I could to stay awake. Streaming horror podcasts, blasting metal, mainlining Red Bulls like it was a college final week. I kept glancing at the mirror in my room. I was terrified to look, but I couldn't not look. Around 4:02 a.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number, not the same number as before. This one was 000. Just unknown, no caller ID. Just those zeros, like an empty shell of a number. I answered, because of course I did. The voice wasn't mine this time. It was Sarah, but not how she normally sounds. It was like someone was badly impersonating her, like a cheap knockoff voice you'd hear on an AI filter, trying too hard to sound human. Words slightly slurred, emotionless, robotic, but not quite. She said, "You didn't stop it, you invited it. Every time you called the number, you opened another door." Then the line cut, no sound, not even a dial tone. I immediately texted Sarah. "Me, was that you? Just now? Sarah, what? Me, you just called me. Said some stuff about doors." Sarah, "Bro, I'm asleep. Look at the time. I didn't call you." She sent me a screenshot of her call log. Nothing there. I checked mine. The call was logged at 4:02 a.m. Duration 2 minutes and 11 seconds. There was an audio file attached under recent voicemail, but I didn't have voicemail enabled. I played it. I regret playing it. It was me, crying. At first, heavy, gasping sobs. Not just crying, hyperventilating, like I'd been running for hours, completely broken. Then the crying stopped. Then I heard my own voice, whispering, "It's in the walls." I saw its hand come through the drywall. It doesn't walk, it spreads. It's underneath the apartment. I paused the file. My hands were shaking. I don't remember saying any of that. Then I hit play again, and something else played. It sounded like skin being peeled, this wet, slow tearing sound that made me physically gag, followed by the sound of something shuffling, dragging against carpet. Then came the whisper. Not mine. We all answered. We all let it in. I threw my phone across the room. I wanted to smash it, but I didn't. I just sat there, shaking, staring at the mirror. And that's when it happened. The mirror, my tall, full-body mirror in the corner, shimmered. I swear to God, it looked like heat waves were rippling across it, like a screen instead of glass. I stood up, moved toward it, and I saw myself, just standing there. But the reflection didn't move when I moved. It stayed still. Then it smiled and lifted its hand. It pressed its palm against the inside of the glass, like it wanted to push through. Except its hand had 7 fingers, and they were all bending backwards. I screamed. I ran out, left my apartment barefoot. I'm writing this from a late-night diner with 24-hour Wi-Fi and fluorescent lights that won't let shadows settle. There are other people here. That's the only reason I feel even halfway okay. But I'm not going back to my place. Not tonight. Maybe not ever. Here's what I know now. That number isn't just a prank. It's not an app or a virus. It's a door. Every call invites it closer. And I think it doesn't just tell you how you'll die. I think it decides it. Don't call the number. Don't even think about it. This part's gonna sound fake. I don't care. I wish it was fake. I wish this whole thing was some elaborate storytime video on YouTube, some ARG I could click out of. But I can still smell what I smelled that night. I can still feel the wet concrete under my feet. I haven't taken a shower in 2 days because I swear to God I feel things on my skin that aren't there. They told me not to talk about this part, and by they, I don't mean the police. I mean the ones who live underneath us, the ones you only ever see when you're about to die. Let me explain. After the mirror thing, I didn't go home. I Ubered from that 24-hour diner to Sarah's place, and she let me crash on her couch. She didn't say much. I think she could see I wasn't the same. I couldn't make eye contact. I couldn't even sit still. I kept pacing, watching the corners of the room. I swore I could hear breathing. Not mine, not hers. Just soft, rhythmic exhaling from places there shouldn't be anything. At 3 a.m. on the dot, Sarah's doorbell rang. Neither of us moved. Not because we were asleep, because we were both wide awake, and we knew no one should have been out there. It rang again, this time twice. Sarah picked up her phone and showed me the security cam feed from her doorbell app. There was no one there, except there was something wrong with the timestamp. It read 3 a.m., July 23rd, 2027. That's 2 years from now, and the person at the door, the one the camera didn't show, still rang the bell 2 more times. Then came the knock, not on the door, from inside the walls. We left, immediately. Sarah and I drove around until sunrise, didn't even talk, just silence because anything we said out loud might make it more real. I eventually convinced myself I had to go back to my place. I had to see if any of this was just in my head, if the mirror was still like that. We got there around 6:20 a.m. Bright sunlight, birds chirping, kids riding scooters down the sidewalk. Everything looked normal, like none of the horror had permission to exist in daylight. I walked into the apartment. Everything was cold. Not like air conditioner cold, like vacuum cold, like the heat had been sucked out of the space entirely. I could see my breath, and it was July. I checked the mirror, just my reflection. Normal. I almost cried. Maybe it was over. I turned around to call for Sarah. She was waiting in the hall, and that's when I saw it. The floorboard in the hallway was missing. Just one, a rectangular panel, popped open like a trapdoor. I never noticed it before. It blended in perfectly with the old hardwood until now, and below it, concrete and a metal ladder. There's no basement in this building. It's one of those old 1950s apartment blocks with paper-thin walls and zero amenities. No washer, no dryer, no elevator. The super lives in another unit. I've lived here for 3 years and never saw anything like this, but something was calling me to go down. Sarah begged me not to. She actually started crying. I told her she could stay upstairs. I'd just take a quick look. But something in me needed to see it, needed to know what was beneath me. The air down there, I can't even describe it. It was heavy, tasted metallic, like breathing in rust and rotting fruit at the same time. Every step down the ladder echoed like I was entering a vacuum. No bugs, no dust, no signs of life, except the walls, every few feet, scratched into the concrete in crooked, desperate handwriting. You called, now it watches. No death is escape. It's not ahead, it's behind. That last one? That one was fresh. I touched the scratches. They were still flaking. The tunnel bent sharply left, then right. I followed it. I don't know why. It felt like I was being led, the way dreams move forward without you making the decision. Eventually, I reached a door, a rotted wooden one. Looked like it had been soaked in tar, symbols scratched all over it, circles within circles, hands with extra fingers, mouths with no faces, and in the center, a single eye, drawn in red, still wet. When I opened the door, I expected a room, maybe some underground horror basement or ritual space. What I got instead was a mirror, in the middle of a massive, empty, pitch-black chamber, lit only by a single swinging bulb overhead, like a warehouse had been buried under my building. This mirror was old, Victorian, carved frame, cracked down the middle, but what I saw inside it wasn't my reflection. It was my bedroom, empty, except for one thing, a figure standing in front of the mirror, its back turned, pale, too pale skin, clothes I recognized, my hoodie, my jeans, my shoes. It was me, but as I stared, it turned around, and it didn't have a face, just that red, bleeding eye, right in the middle, staring so hard it hurt. I heard something behind me, wet footsteps, dragging. I spun around, and nothing was there. But when I turned back to the mirror, the version of me was closer, right up against the glass, pressing its hands to the other side. Then it opened its mouth, except there was no mouth. The eye split open sideways, revealing jagged human teeth, and it spoke, not aloud, inside my head. We took your death, now we give you others. Make the call again. Spread the line. Then it showed me something, visions, thousands of mirrors, all over the world, people staring into them, people watching themselves decay in real time, a woman dissolving into maggots in a beauty salon, a boy screaming as his eyes melted on a live Twitch stream, a man in a suit vomiting live spiders in a hotel elevator while everyone just watched, frozen. All of them had one thing in common. Their phones were ringing. 701, 701, 0. I don't remember climbing out. I blacked out. Sarah found me in the hallway, curled up by the missing floorboard. She said I was whispering numbers in my sleep. She recorded it. In the audio, I say the same thing, over and over. One dies, one watches, one calls, one becomes. That was 2 days ago. The mirror in my apartment is gone, just vanished. No broken glass, no residue, nothing, just an empty corner now. But my bathroom mirror, my black phone screen when it's locked, the back of spoons, they show things, versions of me that aren't dead yet, versions of you who are. Last night, my old friend Daniel texted me. Remember him? The one who got the motorcycle death prediction? He was found in his apartment this morning, face down. Every mirror in his place was shattered. But get this, he never bought a motorcycle, and yet when the cops dragged his body out, he had road rash on 90% of his skin, like he'd been going 100 miles per hour, on asphalt, face first. This thing, this number, it doesn't tell the future, it writes it. And once you hear your death, you carry it inside you. It grows, it feeds, it waits for the perfect moment. Whatever's calling us, it's not a prank, it's not a glitch, it's a system, a cycle, and you're either part of it or you're next, but I don't know how much longer I have. The call came again last night, but this time I answered, and the voice wasn't mine, it was yours. If you're reading this, I need you to understand something before we go any further. This isn't about the number anymore. That was just the bait, the first whisper. What's happening now is something older, smarter. It's been waiting, not for years, not for centuries, for versions of time we don't have words for. This part isn't a story. This is a warning, and maybe a confession, because I did something last night, something I shouldn't have done, and someone died for it. It started at 2:44 a.m. I was at a motel outside the city. I've been living out of one ever since the floorboard incident. Room 17, gross carpeting, buzzing light fixture, smelled like mildew and something faintly coppery, like a coin held too long in your mouth. I hadn't slept in 3 days. Couldn't every time I closed my eyes, I saw versions of myself being torn apart in ways that don't even make sense. I don't mean gore for gore's sake. I mean conceptual pain, dying through ideas, drowning in memories, being eaten alive by something made of teeth and blame. Anyway, I was lying on the bed, watching TV with no sound, just subtitles. Some reality show about hoarders. The screen flickered, glitched, then froze. All of the text on the screen changed to this. The line is never dead. It waits for you to speak. The voice you hear last will be your own. Then the TV turned off by itself, and the phone in my room rang. Not my cell, the motel phone. One of those beige landline bricks with the dirty cord. I let it ring. It rang 77 times, and then it stopped. I swear to you, I didn't touch it. But the voicemail light started blinking. I didn't know motel phones even had voicemail. I pressed play. There was no voice at first, just the sound of something chewing, wet, rhythmic chewing, not food, something soft, something meaty. Then the message started. We watched you wake up in the wrong body 3 nights ago. We watched you blink and not see your reflection. You were already gone, but you haven't realized it yet. That's why you're hollow. I wanted to throw up, but I couldn't move. And then the voice changed. It was Sarah. I didn't want to be part of this. You dragged me into it. You kept calling the number. You wouldn't stop. Now I see it every time I close my eyes. And then she screamed. God, it didn't sound like a regular scream. It sounded like something inside her was screaming to get out. Her voice was layered with something else, something lower and inhuman, something using her throat like a disguise. I rushed out of the motel, left everything behind: phone, charger, even my shoes. I drove barefoot for 40 minutes to Sarah's apartment. When I got there, the door was open, not broken into, just slightly ajar. Inside, it was cold, always cold. But the worst part, it didn't smell like her place. It smelled like decay. I stepped into the kitchen first. The faucet was on, water running over the edge of a full sink, dishes floating in it. But the water wasn't clear. It was pink, like someone had tried to wash something they weren't supposed to. I called out her name. Nothing. The living room lights flickered once, then died. I took out my phone. Yes, I went back and got it, and turned on the flashlight. That's when I saw the mirrors, dozens of them, nailed to the walls, even to the ceiling, some handheld, some bathroom-sized. One full-length mirror just propped against the couch, smeared with handprints. Each one showed a different room. None of them were Sarah's. One looked like a hospital hallway. Another showed a dirty playground at night. Another showed a hallway filled with hundreds of doors. Each door had a number carved into it, and teeth nailed into the wood. I screamed her name. Then I saw her. Sarah was sitting in the corner of the bedroom, knees pulled up to her chest, naked, head tilted down, skin soaked like she'd been in water for days, fingers wrinkled and pale. Her hair was hanging over her face, and her mouth, she was smiling, but her eyes were empty. Not metaphorically, literally. No irises, just holes. I ran to her, shook her. She spoke without looking up. You answered the call again. That wasn't your voice. That was what's wearing your voice. You don't get to leave anymore. Then her skin started to peel. I'm not exaggerating. Her entire back peeled like wet wallpaper. Underneath, not muscle, not bone, wire, thin black wire coiled like nerves, plugged into her spine, and they were moving. I backed away. She looked up at me and whispered, I'm just the echo now. She stood, slowly, her body bent wrong. She reached for one of the mirrors, pressed her hand to it, and sank into it, like water, gone. The mirror she entered shattered the moment she vanished, but not with glass. It cracked into skin, human skin, wrinkled and raw. It bled. I ran. I didn't stop, got back in my car, and drove until the gas light came on. I parked in a Walmart lot and just sat there, shaking. Then my phone lit up, a new voicemail notification. No missed call, just the voicemail. I hit play. It was me, but not anything I've ever recorded. Hi, you've reached my name. I'm not here anymore, but don't worry. I left the line open. For you. Then silence. Then the chewing. I don't sleep anymore. I don't dream anymore, because something's coming through the line, something bigger than I can understand. The number isn't a number, it's a frequency, a signal. It infects devices. It travels through Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, even reflections. It finds you in moments you don't think matter, when you look into a spoon, when your phone screen goes black, when you're brushing your teeth and don't remember blinking. It finds you when you're alone. Sarah is gone. Daniel is gone. I'm not next, because I made another call to a new number, one that didn't exist until you started reading this. 701 00. Read. Try it. It might ring, and if it does, you'll hear your own voicemail from a day that hasn't happened yet, describing what your body looks like after it's found, after the walls have closed around you and the chewing starts again. but by then you'll already know how it ends, because you'll hear it first, right before the line goes dead. I don't know how long I've been here. Time moves wrong now. My clock loops from 3:33 a.m. back to 3:32. My watch bleeds when I check it. I tried drawing a calendar on the wall with a Sharpie to keep track, but every morning it's blank again. Or worse, the boxes are filled in with numbers I didn't write. They're phone numbers. Every single one is slightly different from mine, off by one digit, and every time I try to dial them, someone screams, not from the phone, from inside the walls. Let me go back. Let me finish this, even if no one's listening anymore. After Sarah disappeared into the mirror, and after the voicemail from my own mouth started playing itself at random volumes, I tried to destroy the phone. First, I microwaved it. It screamed. I don't mean it sparked. I mean it screamed. Like a person. I threw it out the window, left it in the parking lot, ran. A kid picked it up, some little boy with a Spider-Man backpack. I turned around to yell at him, not to touch it, but he was already holding it to his ear, smiling. He whispered, "It says I die in a house that isn't mine." Then he walked away. I went underground, literally. There's this train station that got shut down in the 90s, City Line Terminal. No power, no staff, rats the size of cats. Used to be a place where junkies went to OD in peace, but I figured if I was surrounded by dead infrastructure, no signals, no Wi-Fi, no screens, the thing wouldn't be able to reach me. I was wrong, because it doesn't need signal. It is the signal. That first night underground, I thought I was safe. I made camp in the corner of the platform with a flashlight and a bag of vending machine chips, used a rail car as shelter, sat in the dark, listening to the rats scrabbling over tiles, whispering prayers to gods I don't even believe in. Around 2 a.m., I started hearing the ringing, not from a phone, from the walls, like they were humming, buzzing at a frequency just low enough to feel like it was vibrating in my skull. I covered my ears, but I could still hear it, inside me, like my bones were getting a call I couldn't decline. Then came the voices, at first just whispering, but not human whispering. You know the sound a dog makes when it's breathing too fast? Heavy and panicked? Like that. Layered, overlapping. Then they spoke, together in perfect sync. You are the final signal. You will broadcast the end. The last voicemail must be heard. I started running, tunnel after tunnel, deeper and deeper, until there was no more floor, just slick black veins in the concrete, like something had grown through the station. I stepped on one, and it twitched. I fell through a hole and landed in something wet. At first I thought it was water. It wasn't. It was teeth, thousands of them, like the floor of a mouth. Human teeth, but alive, shivering, clicking, like they were chattering to each other. Then came the mouths, not attached to bodies, just hanging in the air, like holes torn into reality. And they all said the same thing, call back. I woke up inside my own apartment. I know how that sounds. I know. 1 second I was in a tooth floor tunnel. The next I was sitting on my couch, clean, dressed, daylight pouring through the windows. Everything looked normal, except there were mirrors on every wall. And I wasn't alone. There were other me's reflected in each one. Every version I've ever seen in my dreams. Burned, drowned, hollow-eyed, wire-filled. One of them had no skin, just blood and teeth. One was rotting in real time. They were all smiling, all looking at me, and they all spoke at once. We're already dead. You're the last one. Make the call. So I did. Not because I wanted to, because I had no choice. The phone appeared on my lap. Black, Slick, no buttons, no screen, just a place to put my ear. It rang once, twice, then silence, then a voice. Yours, you, yes, you reading this right now. Your voice, perfectly mimicked, a version of it you haven't heard yet. Older, sharper, tired. You said, I'm writing this down now, trying to make sense of it all. But by the time I post part 5, it'll already be too late. Because you answered the call, you read it. That's how it spreads. And now it's done. There's no cliffhanger, no escape. I'm not ending this with some clever twist, because I'm gone. Not dead. Not really. I'm a voicemail now, trapped in the system, on loop, waiting to be heard. And when you get your call, and you will, it won't say how you'll die. It'll say when you joined us. Because that's the only thing that matters now. Not how, not why, just when. Final transmission. You left the line open too long. Now your body is ringing. Pick up. It's already in your ear. Welcome to the last call. The line disconnects, but the sound keeps going. Forever.